Hey guys, so we have been reading this story in class. 8 class pets plus 1 squirrel divided by 1 dog equals chaos. Um, and the holiday break starts in one day. So we are not going to get through it this semester. So I'm going to do the read alouds on here and finish the book. So you have to ask your kids because they've all heard it. We've made it through a little over half the book. Twitch, our squirrel, is our main character. In the first chapter, Twitch is telling the story, so it's really good with point of view. He is a squirrel that lives on a playground near school, and Twitch is getting chased by a dog, runs into the school, gets trapped in the school with the dog chasing him. In chapter 2, Twitch ends up in first grade with green eggs and hamster, the first grade pet. So each chapter there's a different pet within the school, and he's telling this story. So in chapter 2, Green Eggs and Hamster is like, hey, this squirrel just ran into my first grade classroom. What is going on? Oh, and it's in the evening, and the janitor has locked the school, and the dog and the squirrel are trapped in the school with all the class pets. So Green Eggs and Hamster, first grade pet. Twitch goes in there to get away from the dog. He gives him some advice where to go, what to do. Second chapter, Miss Lucy Cottontail, the second grade rabbit. She's the smartest in the whole book, she thinks, because she went from the pet store being a bunny there to second grade. She didn't go to kindergarten. She didn't go to first grade. She's just so smart. She went to second grade, so her perspective was fun. Then he goes, Twitch runs into the library where Sweetie, the library rat's there. Well, the dog tips over the cage in the library, and Sweetie is now also running for his life with Twitch being chased by the dog. The next chapter, they go into third grade, and it's third grade fish, and it's the neon tetras. So you're getting their perspective from like life inside a fishbowl in third grade, and here comes this squirrel running in, and a rat, and a dog. Well, as the chaos of the dog chasing Twitch the squirrel, his leash gets wrapped around the cart that the fish tank is on. So when they run out of the third grade classroom and go into, and the dog chases them into Lenore, the parrot's fourth grade classroom, the cart with the fish are following. So you have Twitch and Sweetie the rat running into the fourth grade classroom, and they're being chased by the dog who is pulling a cart with a fish tank on it. So we are at Nancy, the art room. So that's where we left off, was Lenore the parrot. So Nancy, the art room turtle. Sometimes people who come to visit Mrs. Hinkle's room get confused. They ask, is he a turtle or a tortoise? Miss Hinkle says, Nancy is she, not a he, and she is a turtle. Miss Hinkle and I think there's a big difference between turtles and tortoises. We can't see how people get so confused. By the end of the year of art class, Miss Hinkle's students will never again be the kind of people who get confused about this. Tortoises live on dry land, but we turtles spend most of our time in the water. But sometimes we like to have dry land to crawl up onto. My beautiful glass case has both, along with a nice heat lamp so to keep me warm. Nice and warm and cozy. I'm sorry, I fell asleep there under that lamp. Where was I? Oh yes, I'm a mud turtle, so I'll never grow bigger than 6 inches. This makes me the right size for Mrs. Hinkle to sometimes take me out of my glass case and set me on the table so the boys and girls can see me better. Don't poke at Nancy or try to pick her up, Miss Hinkle says. She's very shy. It's nice to have someone else around to explain that you're not an unfriendly, but only shy. Miss Hinkle teaches art. Even though I'm shy, I like that the children ask if I can come out of my case so they can see me and use me as their model. Miss Hinkle gives me a piece of melon or lettuce to munch on so that I'll stay still and not explore the table too much while my picture is being drawn. I like to have my picture drawn, but I also like to draw my own pictures. Sometimes Miss Hinkle pours food coloring onto a piece of foil and lets me walk through it. Then she sets down a piece of art paper, and I walk onto that, leaving colored footprints with my little webbed feet. We don't put paint on turtle shell, Miss Hinkle says, but a little foot A little bit of food coloring won't hurt Nancy's feet. One afternoon, after waking up from my nap and finding that all the children and Miss Hinkle too had left, I was admiring all the new pictures Miss Hinkle had hung up that day. The children had been very excited and had talked about the artist who would be visiting the next day. An artist who was going from school to school to judge pictures and give out prizes for the best pictures. I think the best pictures are the ones with me in them. But all of a sudden, there was a commotion in the hall. So I pulled myself into my shell in case there was danger. Good thing, because the noise came into the classroom. A dog was barking. A parrot was squawking. A squirrel was shouting, "Help! Help! The nasty, smelly dog wants to eat me." And a hamster, a rabbit, and a rat were yelling, "Run, Twitch, run!" The wheels of the cart the dog was pulling went squeak, squeak, squeak. And the fish in the tank on the cart were yelling in their tiny fish voices, "School, school." Okay, so, recap, pausing. Twitch, when he was stuck in Lenore's classroom, the 4th grade parrot, he told Sweetie the rat, who was out with him, "Go get back up. We need help." So Sweetie the rat went and got Green Eggs and Hamster and Lucy Cottontail out. I know, a lot of characters. So we have Twitch running, Sweetie the rat with him, Lucy Cottontail, Green Eggs and Hamster, Lenore the parrot, his cage tipped, he got out, he's flying in there too, and the dog's leash is still dragging the cart with the fishbowl. Lots to keep track of, but we got this. All right, moving on. Even with my head tucked safely inside my shell, I could see well enough to tell that Twitch must be the squirrel, since the others were telling Twitch to run, and it was the squirrel who ran up onto one of the tables where Miss Hinkle keeps her art supplies. The dog jumped up there too. So much energy. It nearly wore me out to watch them. Twitch leaped off the table and over the bookshelves, pulling himself up onto the art in the Western civilization. The dog couldn't follow, because the rope that tied him to the leg of the cart wasn't long enough. The dog ran back and forth on the table, knocking over paints and brushes and the box of chalk. The paint was leaking and dripped off the edge of the table, making a puddle on the floor. I liked the slow, thick way the paint dripped, dripped, dripped. Where was I? Oh, yes. I recognized Twitch, since sometimes I'd seen him look into the window of the classroom. Still, because I'm shy, I'd never talked to him before. But now, he was in danger. I wanted to help. It's scary when someone wants to eat you. I called over, "Excuse me, Mr. Squirrel, sir." This was very abrupt of me. Turtle manners call for long and slow and proper introductions. But this was an emergency, I said. "Don't you have a hard shell you can escape into?" "Nope," Twitch said, springing from one bookcase to another. "Just fur." "Fur is not nearly as useful as a hard shell." I asked, "Do you have a stink gland?" "Don't I wish," Twitch bounded from the bookcase to Mrs. Hinkle's desk, to her chair, to the floor. My goodness, could he move fast? The dog could move fast too. But when he jumped off the art table, his fish tank cart swung around and knocked into my table. My case tipped. I pulled all the way into my shell again. My case teetered. I closed my eyes. My case tottered over the edge and onto the floor. My case went, landing on its side. I rolled right out of it. By the time I decided I was still alive, Twitch had already escaped into the hall. The dog, still attached to the cart, ran out of the room, with the parrot flapping her wings at him, and the hamster and rabbit and the rat scurrying pretty fast too. The dog had left a trail of painted footprints from the table to the door. It was mean of him to want to eat Twitch, but I do have to say, he was a very talented artist. I decided to follow. All right, so that's it for our chapter on the turtle Nancy that's in the art room. So we'll have to see. So now Twitch, the dog with the cart following him, with the fish on it, the parrot Lenore, Sweetie the rat, Green Eggs and Hamster, Lucy Cottontail have all ran out of the art room. And now Nancy the turtle is like, I should follow. I should see what's going on. So we'll have to keep reading. Next chapter is Angel, the 5th grade corn snake. See what happens there.